Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Comic Books NYC. This is Gotham City Chronicles, episode 19 of the show. We're covering Superman, Batman, Volume 1, written by Jeph Loeb and illustrated beautifully by Ed McGuinness and Michael Turner, respectively. Joining me, as usual, is my co-host, JP's Budget Collecting. What's going on, JP?
Not much, man. Just hanging out, reading a little Superman, Batman, where they're not like trying to make them enemies, and they're actually like teaming up. So.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, they're best bros. I never read this one before, but I enjoyed it. This came out during my hiatus from comics, like I think my first lengthy hiatus. So
right at the end of my original, like right as I was getting out of comics the first time,
right,
came out.
So I was happy to circle back and get this one in my repertoire, and so I'm excited to talk about it. But we got a guest here with us to talk about it with us, and that's Bona Fide. What's up, Bona Fide?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Chilling.
Hanging out, man.
Oh, JP, had to rub it in the defeat on Comigories. They brought me in here.
Oh yeah, that's right. You guys
apparently like the fact that I won broke the show because it hasn't been back. So,
right.
Like that can't be.
You're the final
final champion. They're like this show is broken. If JP can win, then it's just not a good show no more.
Oh man. All right. Well, we got D-Runk Comics here. I know he's a fan of this one. He said if I didn't like this one, our friendship was over. So, and then we got Knights of Old. What's this show all about? It's about Batman, brother. This is a Batman story hour style show. We haven't been on in a minute with the show, but technically it's been like 6 weeks, something like that, 7 weeks. But this is the 19th episode, so we're almost at that 20 episode milestone here. So I wonder what we'll do next. But first, we got to talk about this book. We also have Tricky Trapster in the house. What's up, Tricky? Good to see you, brother. All right, so let's get right into it, man. Should I kick things off, or like, what initial thoughts? I think is how we usually start. But why don't you guys kick it off?
Go ahead, Bona Fide.
Bona Fide. Let's go with that.
Well, this comic was like probably my biggest time of like reading comics. Like I was in college, and I had probably the largest amount of comics in my pull list that I ever had. So
like new comics coming out.
Yeah, new comics. I mean, I had stacks and stacks because this is when I was just absorbing the most. And it was like right after Hush, which brought me back into comics, really. And they took all my money because this came out, and then 52, and God, what else came around this? Like Moon Knight. I think Hulk got redone. I mean, it was a bunch of stuff that came out around this time. But I do remember this run. And like when you told me you were going to be on here, there were certain things like I just remembered. Like it was like ingrained in my brain about this run. So, I mean, it must have had a lasting impression, even though, some of it is not the greatest writing. And I mean, but it's still, I rember it to this day. So it still had a lasting impression on me. So, I would say it's pretty good. It was like a popcorn summer blockbuster is how I think of it. Yeah.
Well, it kind of, there's two main story arcs. There's pretty much two main story arcs.
The lead, the meteor coming with the Krypton, Krypton, and then it breaks apart and all the, and then Supergirl's there.
So there's 6 issues for that first thing, and then there's 6 issues for the Supergirl, and then there's an issue in the middle that Jeph Loeb still wrote, but that there was a one-off artist change, like I think it was Pat Lee or something like that. That's probably my least favorite issue. Like just
did he write a filler
issue? Just getting that out of the way right off the bat. Like
what was the one where his son wrote it? Was that after this? I can't remember.
Oh no, that was I don't know what that one is.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
So there was that one, but I would say the artwork is definitely for me. The highlight, especially in the Michael Turner interior drawn half of this, which is the Supergirl, Darkseid, return of Kara Zor-El character, right? Which I didn't even know until we were chatting backstage that was her actual character return post Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. But I would say, like, I agree with you. Like, it's kind of has that popcorn blockbuster movie feel to it, where like after an issue or two, you're like, okay, I'm not going to expect like, you know, some sort of crazy story, but it's an entertaining one.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a hard read. It's a quick read, and it was a pretty entertaining one overall. Like, I think I enjoyed myself while reading it for the most part, maybe with the exception of that issue 7.
Yeah, it was a fun.
The filler issue is very different in tone from anything else there as well.
That was the one where Robin, Tim Drake, and Superboy go seek out the new Toyman or something.
Toyman, yeah. Yeah, it was kind of weird. They were like offering him a job, and it was like, why didn't just Batman just go himself? It was very strange.
Yeah.
My impressions was I remember, like, this was right when I moved here, so it was right when I was getting out of comics the first time.
Yeah.
Like, one of the last storylines that I kind of read and finished was Hush, and then this came out pretty much just right after that. I remember people talking about it, and I picked up a few issues, and then I read. I was big into Michael Turner at that time, so I was picking up the Supergirl half of this. I know I read Public Enemies at some point, but I don't remember when that was. I think
the name of the first story arc.
The first story arc. I think that was later that I read that, but and I think I read that digitally after the fact, probably after I watched the animated movie. I think
Captain Atom was kind of like interesting in the first story arc.
There's some weird things that go on in both of these, like. But I agree with you guys. It's just a fun read. There's nothing like not a like this is not Batman Year One. You're not getting like comic.
It's not foundational, and it's not transformational.
No,
it's bread and butter. It's like Superman, Batman, interplay, conversation, action. You know, Wonder Woman is in it. You got the whole Supergirl thing. Who else is prominent in here? You got Tim Drake. You got Superboy. They have a kind of a light
Power Girl in the first.
Power Girl. JLA is like kind of in it, like sporadically, not really.
They bring in the JSA.
We get lots of like little cameo and side appearances of heroes, and villains, and particularly in that first one.
It's got a little bit of everything. It's got a little bit of everything. To me, felt appropriate that it was Superman Batman and not Batman Superman. I know they have done Batman Superman as well, like other writers and other titles, and I'm not sure if I've really read any of those either, and if maybe they have more of a Batman skew, but I definitely felt like this had more of a Superman skew, and it was like the order of the characters on the billing made sense. Not that there was like barely any Batman in it. There was a lot of Batman in it.
Well, it's very much because these two story arcs, at least, were very much Superman and Batman sort of helping Superman as opposed to, like,
Should I get a Batman one?
Yeah, me too, Bobby.
Yeah, exactly. The story didn't change you, but it's a fun story. It's definitely a fun story. And to my, surprise and delight, you guys let me know that there's 2 animated movies that I now have the chance to see for the first time as well, and they're on DC Universe, so I might watch one of those tonight.
I may have to go back and watch one of them tonight too, because it's been a long time since I watched them. So President Lex Luthor.
Yeah, this is President Lex time, which is always fun.
That was cool.
To me, it was also like ever since Dark.
Didn't Darkseid build him a suit or something? Like Darkseid built Luthor a suit.
Well, it gave him the technology to build it. Helped him.
Because I don't think he had the suit since '85. Maybe he had, but I mean,
no.
I think this is the introduction of that suit.
I think it's the introduction.
He hadn't had the suit in a long time, and they brought back the suit, which was.
Well, I guess
a reintroduction of the suit.
Yeah, I loved Lex in the suit, so that was one of the highlights to me of the
run. I would agree.
And it was like after Frank Miller wrote Dark Knight, everyone was like, Batman hates Superman. It was like for the longest time when I was growing up.
Like,
right.
It was like
Snyder. It's like,
and then they had to bring back, even when I was a kid, it was like, Batman hates Superman. It's like and it was like, this was the first time even I remember reading, it was like, no, they're best buddies. And it was weird. And it was like, okay, this is cool.
I mean, this is kind of like, I mean, I wasn't around in comics in 2003 when this was coming out. I was out of it, but it feels like this was like their attempt to bring like world's finest. The concept of world's finest into like modern books, you know. And
they could make a little more money if they put the Batman and Superman logo on the cover.
Exactly.
World's finest, they've been like, nah.
And I thought they did a pretty good job with it. So volume 1 is the first 13 issues according to this trade.
This version of the trade.
This version of the trade, which most volume 1s are like 6 issues or something like that.
Yeah, I think when they originally went to trades, it was volume 1 would have just been the Public Enemies.
Yeah. Right. I mean, volume 2 would have been the Supergirl story, and they probably would have skipped issue 7.
Yeah.
Honestly, or maybe tack that on to the end of volume 1, but.
Lex was definitely a highlight of this run. I mean, the first 6.
The first 6, and then Darkseid, Supergirl, Darkseid combination. I would say the highlights of the second.
I don't know. Actually, like my favorite parts of volume 2, like
it's just
the small part is Barda, and this her interplay with them. I just love Barda in that whole story arc.
Yeah, that was great.
When she's in her house, she opens the door and she's like, "Oh, you barely meant right over."
I don't know. The best part of volume 2 was Batman taking on Darkseid. I remember I remember reading that like, holy crap! He's like, because I just love it how he just goes into Barda's Scott's room and he's like, he'll let me borrow all of his gear.
I'm gonna borrow Barda.
He just takes like all of his stuff, the miracle stuff. Yeah, I love that.
I'm gonna need to borrow this. Yeah, that was good. What about the? I mean, the obvious. The Ed McGuinness versus Michael Turner discussion here. You know what I mean? Like the two very different styles.
Yeah, it's just. I like them both for what they are. I mean,
yeah,
me too.
I mean, I'm a huge Michael Turner fan. I think most of us are. But the Ed McGuinness art works for me. It doesn't in this story arc, and he has a very different style. It's more of a cartoony muscle. Everybody's like the giant muscles and
squared off chin,
characters. Yeah, square chin, big muscles, but I actually enjoy the Ed McGuinness art. I mean, there's parts of it that. There's really, really good parts of it. I'm like, but for the most part, I really enjoy the Ed McGuinness art.
I think it was very enjoyable for the story arc. I mean, like for what it was, like a, blockbuster. How do I say it? Like a summer blockbuster. I think his art was perfect.
Yeah,
just like that.
Yeah, I didn't really have any issues with it. I like the what's it called? I like his character design for Power Girl.
Yeah.
And
made really cool action figures.
Hawkman too. Even his Captain Atom, I liked. So I just liked how Captain Atom played like kind of an important role in that first half, which I don't really get to read that character that often.
Yeah. But it's kind of funny because he kind of has a monologue in it about how he's kind of like a side character.
Yes, right.
He has his own little monologue as he's going to take on the thing that he's not.
He's important. Like, maybe they'll now see that I'm actually a hero.
Yeah.
It was weird that didn't Major Force like shove somebody, Kyle Rayner's girlfriend in a refrigerator. I was like, why is he in this? Reading it back, I was like, what is he doing in this storyline? Like, I couldn't even remember.
I didn't even. I wasn't even sure when he exited the storyline. I just know at some point
Katana cut his arms off or whatever.
Yeah. I just remember that he disappeared from the book. So.
Yeah, well, like I don't remember, like, but Major Force was a villain, and then somehow, like, he had turned himself under Luthor into, like, part of Luthor's hero squad or something. But yeah, it was kind of, but yeah, he was clearly, and the movie, he's even more of a-hole than he is in this, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, but yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, there was a lot of, well, besides like D-Runk was talking about the dual narrator technique where, you hear Batman's inner monologue going, yeah.
To me, that is probably my favorite part of both volumes is the back and forth monologue, like between the two of them.
The inner monologue.
The two inner monologues, I think, are the best part of the writing of this in many ways. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally. He literally.
What's going on? Thank you for stopping in. So yeah, man. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like I think Michael Turner's character design for Supergirl is just unreal. Like,
iconic. Yeah.
It's just amazing,
When I think about Supergirl, well, just because that was when I was I was introduced really to Supergirl during this. I mean, I'd probably read Crisis on Infinite Earths by this time, just because I was like reading a lot of like back stuff, and plus I knew Infinite Crisis was coming up. But like to me, I think of Supergirl, I think of Michael Turner, and I think of this story run, the storyline. I
love this page in the last page in this trade where it's his like character design jam piece or whatever.
Yeah. Where he's trying different things.
Was this like Michael Turner's last and only basically, interior art?
That's a good question. I failed to do that research. So
but I think it is.
That's a better image.
He'd done, Phantom or all that stuff, and then they were like, "Well, here," because he was doing covers and stuff, and then they were like, they put him on this, and then he did a couple more covers for Civil War, and then I think he passed away. So it's like, this might
I don't remember what year
his only interiors outside of what he was doing and his own stuff. I'm pretty sure, but
this is definitely close to the end of his career. For sure, so.
And like, man, he was just starting to heat up too.
He was.
I remember those Infinite Crisis, or not Infinite Crisis, the Identity Crisis covers he did.
Yeah,
that Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman is like one of my favorite.
Yeah,
I mean, the covers he did with Darkseid for me, I really like. Also, like, man,
And he made Batman jacked as like, I was just reading back in it, and I was like, "Good God, Batman's jacked."
Yeah.
I like that one too. I think that's an underrated cover.
That is a great
that's
cover.
A good one.
So.
The evil, when she's.
I don't even know if that's visible. I can't see my screen, but
it is. Yeah, you can see it.
Cool.
Which Darkseid could mind control. I'm sure that's maybe one.
Well, they don't really deal with how she they get her. They're like, "Oh, we fixed you." Like after they get her home,
punchy, and then she's like, "Fine, right?"
There's this one double page spread. I forget what issue it's in. I'm trying to find it right now. Well, there's this one with her as like the Darkseid slave.
Well, there's so many good ones. Like the one I remember before I even read it was the one where Batman's coming up out of the water in like the aquatic suit. Yeah, this one.
Oh yeah.
Like I just knew it was coming even when I was reading it. I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be so. It's coming out of the water.
I mean Michael Turner. Yeah, this you were talking about that one, the double page spread with her and Darkseid, and then.
There's also one with her, and maybe it wasn't a double page spread. It was like her and Wonder Woman, or
that's a single page. But that's where I was headed next.
Her and Artemis training. That's the one.
That one.
Oh yeah,
that's the one that just like blew my mind, dude. So yeah, I just love that.
And then here's the Wonder Woman, Supergirl.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was just showing off. I mean, here's that double spread where they're in Themyscira, and like Batman's just. I mean, that's why I was like, he's so jacked.
Yeah, they're getting ready to fight the fake
Doomsday, like
fake Doomsdays. Yeah,
he brings them just so he can capture.
And even like the detail on like the smaller panel pages and stuff that he did is just incredible, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, you going back and reading that, I was like, man, he died way too soon. Like this,
seriously.
I mean, be doing stuff.
You gotta give Richard Starkings was really like did perfect color work to accompany his original line work. I mean, I really love the coloring as well.
I love it. Yeah, the evil version.
Yeah.
And then when they're fighting in the one, there's another page where they're fighting where Clark punches her. That's like a double page. Yeah.
Scott Evans in the house says Michael Turner was the man.
Yeah, it was like he was just showing off. You were just like, yep.
Yeah, that's so good right there, dude. Man. Yeah, I don't have a single complaint about artwork. Really,
pissed off Superman.
Yeah, really in either story, but definitely not in Michael Turner's story.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Michael Turner is a different level than Ed McGuinness. Ed McGuinness is good. Like,
yeah. Jim Lee did some cool variants also, which are I think some of those are in the back, right?
Yeah.
Where there's some like multiple printing variants and stuff like that, but I don't have any of the floppies to really look for those, but that's what we got Bona Fide for. All right, well, what else about the story? I mean, we kind of talked about art for the last 10, 15 minutes.
Do we want to just start with the first one and then work through it?
Yeah.
So, like, the story on this is a lot of fun, but the point it's like it kind of jumps around. It's a little like, because it starts off with them dealing with Metallo, and then he just disappears from the story completely.
Well, here's the part that I felt the most burned by was what was the connection between Metallo and the murder of Bruce's
parents?
And there was like no connection.
Jeph Loeb all the time, though.
Yeah.
He like brings in some like massive tease and they never pays off.
Jeph Loeb. It's a Jeph Loeb thing. He does that.
He did it in Hush, and then like, of course, what was the writer came in later and was like, "Oh, we're gonna bring back
right, yeah,
Robin or Jason Todd."
Right.
He like teased it, and then he's like, "Oh no, it's Clayface or whatever." And it's
Ruben Guzman, Cowabunga fan, welcome, brother. Appreciate you.
Well, it's like the whole thing with the Public Enemy thing is so overcomplicated because there's like the Corbin thing, the Metallo thing that doesn't pay off.
Remind me of the Corbin thing.
Superman traveling back through time.
So it was so apparently Metallo. Was it when it was before Metallo? I guess he was just a thug or whatever,
right?
And he had been a criminal in Gotham City.
Yeah.
The day or like the time of his parents' death, and he had the same gun.
It was just like unnecessary. Like
it was unnecessary. In hindsight, it was unnecessary. At the time, I thought it was going to be.
At the time, I mean, I was reading at the time. It was a big thing. Like, really,
right?
Is this the guy?
Well, for me, it wasn't at the time they were coming out, but it was like at the time I was reading the beginning of the trade, I thought that was going to be important, and every issue that went on from there, I was like, why aren't they talking about that?
Yeah. They kind of like sweep it under, and then later on he like brings it up.
Yeah, I think they brought it up once in the second story.
Basically to say that it wasn't real.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah, remember when that happened? Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit weird for me, but I enjoyed the
Kryptonite bullet.
I enjoyed the Kryptonite asteroid Armageddon scenario, kind of thing, I guess, aspect of it. I
did like Metallo's like design by McGuinness. I thought he was really cool. How like it was almost like a cyborg. You know how like Cyborg in the future can like change his metal and stuff. I don't know who else can do that. I'm thinking off the top of
the other thing that confused me about the first storyline was the future Superman or the
that
was all the Infinite Crisis was about to happen.
Yeah,
it was right around Infinite Crisis, so they were like teasing stuff.
Right. It didn't work.
Weird that he
it was really weird
himself, and how is that gonna? Here's the thing: the point was he came back in time to stop them from having Superman go and break it into a bunch of pieces, and the radiation hit the whole Earth, and they were all going to die because he couldn't absorb the radiation from the.
So he dies. So then,
but how was killing Superman and Batman going to fix that?
I don't know.
It made no sense.
Because someone else would have had to do it.
It was who else was going to do it? It was.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a little weird.
But I will agree, based on that, you're talking about, not that we're talking about this, but the movie kind of fills some of that, evens out some of the plot holes.
The movie handles the top way better also. So
yeah.
So which movie is the one based on the first story, and which movie is the one based on the second story? What are they called?
Public Enemies is the one based on the first story, and then Apocalypse is the one based on the second story.
Apocalypse. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll have to check those out. I guess we can cover the one-off issue before we talk about the second story a little bit. The one-off issue was issue 7. It was written by Jeph Loeb, penciled by Pat Lee, and that was the issue where Superboy, where it was weird. To me, it was weird. It was so it was Superman and Batman essentially giving Superboy and Tim Drake Robin an assignment to go to Tokyo to get some sort of
recruit this kid, the toy man.
Who wrote that? Who wrote that issue?
That was written by Jeph Loeb. It was written by the same writer. It was like a connecting issue, I guess. I don't know. It's definitely
maybe it pays off later. I never read any of this run after this.
I haven't read any of the.
But
how many more issues are in this run?
Oh, it goes on for a while.
It goes on for a while, but Jeph Loeb only writes till.
Right, in the Loeb part, did he do all the second one?
No. Oh well, it goes Loeb. It goes on for to 20 something with Loeb.
Yeah, I think he makes it to the 20s, but I don't. Yeah,
somebody else takes over. I think it's been a long time.
There was that whole that battle between robots or robot costumes.
Yeah, it was just so weird.
Toyman hooked those guys up with to
Well, I guess, and that's where Metallo comes back in, but he's not Metallo anymore because Toyman's taken him.
But you swear that's Loeb, because one issue I remember in this run, his son wrote, because he died. His son died from cancer, so they were he let his son write a Batman Superman storyline.
Well, it just says he's the writer. It doesn't.
Okay, it doesn't.
It says he's the writer,
and I can't remember which one it was.
I mean, there was this kind of stinger story at the end that I didn't in the trade anyway, that I didn't know if that was part of, issue 13 or if it was just a bonus, but it was this little one-shot story called When Clark Met Bruce.
Yeah.
Not the one his son did, or
maybe
that's it.
Maybe that's it.
Because it's it tells this story of a baseball. It was after the death of Bruce Wayne's parents, Alfred took him on a cross-country road trip, and then on the way back, apparently they stopped in Smallville and they came across Clark and his friend playing baseball or whatever, and that's quote unquote the first time that Batman and Superman, Clark and saw each other. So
thanks,
Loeb fail, but
issue 26 is the Sam Loeb tribute issue. Okay.
I
couldn't remember. I knew.
Oh, okay. Hey, Seawood. Okay, so that's the next set.
Yeah, probably at the end. If you did another set, it would be, if they even have the other set.
That would
I feel like
really makes sense.
Realistically, the popular part of this run ends right here.
Yeah, with the Supergirl story.
Yeah.
Which is what we get, which we're just about to talk about, I guess. So let's talk about that. You guys kick things off. How does that part of the story kick off?
Well, after the
find that
after the meteorite gets broken into pieces. All that kryptonite falls down into the bay, like Gotham City bay. So Batman's like going down there, like
Batman has to be essentially in quarantine, and they use the word quarantine, which freaked me out.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's essentially in quarantine, and Batman is digging pieces of kryptonite out.
Basically, the way they describe it is Batman and all the other heroes are going all over the world trying to clean up as much of the kryptonite as they possibly can.
Right.
So that people don't get their hands on it.
So, and then he's underwater and then stumbles into a kryptonite ship, which is Kara Zor-El, Supergirl's ship.
Yeah. He stumbles across her ship.
Right.
And then she steals his bat plane and flies off, which is awesome.
Yes.
And then it just crashes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he finds sort of the remnants of her taking out a bunch of like street thugs or whatever in an alley or something like that.
No, she's just like walking stark naked, like down the street, like Terminator. She's just like, where am I?
She's like naked and like or whatever, and then I guess she gets a coat from one of them or whatever, and then like breaks the guy's hand and whatnot, and then when did they first encounter each other?
So who Cap Superman and her?
Batman finds her like she's
Batman's mad because she takes his bat. Like she goes out of the ship while Batman's down there like looking at it, and she climbs into his bat plane while he's down there, and he's like, "Oh crap, someone's taking my bat plane." So then he I think he grapples like onto the bat plane.
He grapples onto it.
Yeah. And then like she goes walking down the street, stark naked, like not knowing where she is. And then Batman's like, enough. He goes all like,
Yeah, he just gets ahead of her. He's leaving a path of destruction, and he gets ahead of her.
He hits a blimp for some reason. Blimps are around.
Oh, your key's collecting that run. Nice, dude. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, he
hits a blimp, and then the blimp's gonna come down like on it, and then Superman comes in.
And then Superman gets called in, and he's there in like a second.
Yeah, he's like, he has to call him.
And so eventually Batman like catches back up to her and pulls out kryptonite to stop her, and they take her to the cave, and then when she wakes up, Superman's there, and they have a conversation. He's like, "It's my cousin." It's just like, wait, what?
She says, "Remember reading this when it was coming out?" It was Mike Turner Interiors. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I remember how big it was. I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's an iconic image of Supergirl.
Yeah, her with the cape and the
so good, man.
And it is funny because like rightfully so, I feel like Batman is like very untrusting of this. Oh, this random person shows up and sees your cousin, and Superman's just like, I believe her.
Crypto hates everybody.
Yeah. There was a lot of crypto.
Like, the dog doesn't like her. I don't trust it.
Batman's listening to the dog.
You can't remember her mom's name. Is her mom's name Martha?
What's your mother?
I mean, I like how at the end she did remember her mom's name, and Batman's like, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
I did really like all those Fortress of Solitude scenes with the three of them or four of them if you count Crypto. Enjoyed that issue a lot. And then I think that's around the time when Darkseid starts entering the picture, or am I?
That's when Wonder Woman comes in and says, "Well, I'm gonna take her to
Themyscira
and train her, like, I don't know." I don't know exactly.
That was a little confusing to me because it was like, okay, we don't trust her, but we're gonna train her and make her better and get her to use her powers. Like, I don't know. It was a little.
Well, I think it's more of because like she's super powerful, and Clark is just gonna unleash her into the wild. He's just like, "Hey, come with me. Walk around with the regular people." Like, and she has no control over her powers.
Shopping. Like,
I mean, and like Batman and Wonder Woman are like, "This is not a good idea."
Yeah,
Well, they at least learn control, and
And
but
Superman's
the way they go about it is so weird that they like stage this fight. Like,
well, Superman's like super protective of her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Well, I'll be honest, during most of this, Superman's kind of an a-hole.
Yeah.
Like, he's so overprotective and just kind of a jerk during a big portion of this to his friends who are honestly just trying to get him to slow down and think things through. Like,
right.
And be careful. And not like, they're not saying that she's not, they're just saying that you don't know yet. It's very, hang on a second. I'll be right back.
I like how they made the Jason Todd parallels.
Yeah.
And like, you know, how I think it was Clark who made some sort of really kind of dickish comment.
Yeah, he makes like a
Jason Todd, and then he apologizes for it later or whatever, and everything's okay. But
yeah,
I did think that was kind of interesting to see. You know, that I don't know what you call it, but I guess it was like tension between Batman and Superman, right?
Because they were so buddy in the first one. I guess they were like,
right,
let's make them enemies again. Not really, but just like
says the animated movie makes the shopping thing very cringeworthy. Okay. Their way of taking her would have pissed me off too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Team Clark.
Yeah, he's saying she like, because they basically just capture her. They're like, now we're taking her. So that means I understand. Like Clark's kind of like, what the heck?
Well, yeah, that whole scene doesn't make much sense to me. But like some of the other things he says and does, like later in the story, it's just like after Darkseid takes her, and he's like, it's your fault, and like because he wanted Darkseid to send a whole bunch of Doomsday things to Metropolis to get her, because that would have been good. You know,
I did think the Amazons and the what was it, the Furies battle was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Mascara, I like that.
Well, they throw all those. He sends all those Doomsday like putties. I don't know. I'm trying to think like putties from like Power Rangers, just like fake Doomsday bots.
Fake animated bots or something.
Yeah, they
use that word in there. Animated.
Like Superman knows that they're fake, and he just goes full like Superman, just blows them away, which is cool. It was cool to finally see like, here's Superman, what he can really do.
Like giant blanket ray that's on all the fools. I like that. That was cool.
And then it was just a distraction, so the Furies could grab her.
Yeah,
it was because I feel like you don't get to see Michael Turner battle art too often.
Yeah,
like, a lot of his covers are like posing or like just majestical images.
Yeah,
whatever, you know, and you don't get to see kind of battle art or explosion art or that kind of stuff too often. So I really enjoyed those sequences because I just didn't, you didn't get to see Michael Turner art like that.
Here's what just pissed off Superman about to just eradicate
that's
all these Doomsday guys, and
there's a giant, ray blast.
That's just
that's dope. And then I guess that all led to the homage to to Crisis on Infinite Earth 7, Death of Supergirl, with the Death of Harbinger. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Death of Harbinger. Pretty awesome homage.
and then they're like, we're gonna go back to Apocalypse.
Right. And that's kind of the second part of the third act or whatever.
That's where you get the best part. My favorite part of the run where Batman and Superman and Big Barda and Wonder Woman. Yeah, and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
I mean, look at this. Like, this is just like the greatest tag team crew. They're just going in.
I love how Barda
Apocalypse. Like, that is just awesome.
Yeah. I love how Barda is significantly taller than
Barda's just
she's a monster.
And I love Batman. He's just got all this huge tech from New Genesis or Apocalypse.
He stole from Scott.
I'm
taking all Scott's stuff.
Yeah, that's my favorite. He goes into. I mean, I remember that. I hadn't read this in years, and I was like, my favorite. I loved it when I just knew it was coming. I was like, yeah, he's going to go in there, and he goes in there and goes, yeah, I'm just going to take all of Mr. Miracle's stuff. He'll be all right with it.
He's like, Barda, I need to borrow. I'm borrowing this.
Yeah.
Wait, so where was Miracle? Like, was Miracle being utilized in DC canon around that time at all, or was he just completely gone?
He was, but I don't know if he was being used, but they just decided not to use him for this story because she's like, oh, I couldn't reach
it.
him.
It would probably have been too easy because it'd have been like he knows how to get anywhere in there. You know, it's like
I was gonna say like, Miracle would have been pretty
useful. Yeah,
that's probably why it would have been like too easy. They would have just been like, let's just get Scott to go in there and sneak in.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, he's not here, so I'm just gonna have to steal all of his stuff and.
All right. No, go ahead.
And just go in,
and
infiltrate it. Which you see Batman get swallowed by a demon dog, which is
yeah.
And then the whole story resolves with like a double fake out, I guess, like where like Darkseid's like take her back, like I don't care, like. Because Superman, I forget if it was Superman or I think it was Batman, who's like, I just got 500 of these bombs to like blow you out of the water.
That was his plan. Was Batman goes into the armory and arms all of their like, I guess
mega
bombs, like nuclear bombs from Apocalypse, basically. I don't know what are they.
Darkseid, caves or gives in and says, fine, take her back, whatever, and then. They go to visit Kent's in Smallville, and he opens the door, and basically Darkseid's there. But then later on, you find out that they expected that, or that they were trying to get him to. They were trying to like.
They knew he was going to come. Yeah,
they were baiting him basically, and then Wonder Woman pulled like a double switcheroo thing.
That whole thing makes so much less sense than it does in the movie. Like because like why are they? Because they fake it out that she's gonna like go into hiding and like pretend, because they like she's hidden. They do a fake out.
Gets beamed over here and some ashes.
So they do that, and then they also do like. But then Clark puts him in the source wall. So why do they need to hide her at that point? And then like 2 pages later, she's back and she's decided she's gonna be Supergirl. It was like, wait, why?
I didn't think it was
a little sudden, but I understood it. Like they're not trying to like draw that out. I guess over another volume.
So I didn't think it was.
I mean, it's literally like, oh, we're gonna hide you. You'll be safe. We're gonna hide you. We'll be safe. Turn the page.
Yeah, but you decide what you want to be or who you want to be.
Turn the page. I've made a decision. 2 pages later, I'm going to be Supergirl. It's like, wait, why did they hire her?
He's standing in front of the whole JLA.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
family.
I just didn't understand why we did that.
I guess Darkseid's gone at that point. It doesn't matter.
Darkseid and send him back, and then have her like,
right. Yeah, that was interesting.
Especially seeing as Clark like beats him pretty easily, like which is a bit of a surprise, I think.
Right. He flies him to the end of space, the space time.
Yeah, and he puts him in the source wall.
Yeah, exactly, source wall. Yeah, that was
it was just odd, and then like because they do that, and then they go through this whole thing where Batman collects the ashes, even though he and Wonder Woman.
They really went through the motions, like oh, like this is everything I could find of her.
Yeah, and then it's like Supergirl was dead, not.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Thunderhouse Design? Welcome, thank you for stopping in, brother.
I didn't realize this till after, but like, how many times? I mean, I know Loeb brought like the kryptonite ring and Hush, but he brings it back so much in these like 2.
He brought it back here, yeah.
Come on, dude. This is
like
a MacGuffin. Like, oh yeah, here comes the kryptonite ring.
He does go like he has like a few things like he refers to.
Like I feel like Loeb is like he's a good writer, but sometimes he just like likes to throw stuff in,
right,
without really having a plan for it.
Well, he's like one of the Batman writers that has like I would say like he's got like a lot of popular stories, but they all are severely flawed. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, even like his best one, which is Long Halloween, has some plot.
Yeah, that's definitely still my favorite of his. But
that's easily his best one.
Agreed.
But I don't know. Yeah, he just does things, and it's like, and then it doesn't pay off, and it's like, wait, what? Why did we even go down that road? Or he does something, and then 2 pages later he undoes it, and it's like, well, why did we do that to start with?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's why it kind of is similar to a blockbuster movie, because like that's what happens in like big blockbuster movie franchises. Like there's a lot of these kind of plot things that get thrown out there that fans like to talk about and speculate about, and then they never get answered. You know?
Yeah. For example, remember the like in the first storyline, the fight scene where Hawkman and Shazam like take down. It's like one scene. It's like they take him down, and then the next scene, it's like, oh, it's Superman dressed up as Shazam. And then like in the writing, it's like, when like it explains all this crap that happened that we never saw, and it's like, when they were distracted, we switched back places, or like we
only pretended that they defeated us, and then we're like. What?
I agree with what Thunderhouse Design is saying. He's saying that, like, I'm assuming he's talking about Loeb stuff, but they're shut your brain off entertainment. Long Halloween is a little bit more elevated than that, and then he's saying he wrote the screenplay for Commando, so all is forgiven.
right.
It would have made more sense that like when they like defeated him or something, they like talked him like, hey, you know, Lex is actually a douchebag. Like he's gonna destroy the world, and like Billy are like, oh, okay. But instead, they're like, we beat them
here
when they weren't.
Right.
There's no follow up to what happened to Hawkman and Shazam.
They defeated them.
Like, the whole time after the first part, I was like, is Captain Atom dead? Like, what happened to Captain Atom?
It kind of reminds you, remember The Simpsons? Poochie went back to his home planet. It was kind of like that. It was just like,
Right. There's a lot of maybe dead characters, but like I don't know. All right. Well, we got about 13 to 15 minutes left here. Let's do our favorite cover and then where we rank this sucker. So I'm just gonna have to look at the second half of the covers. Sorry, Ed McGuinness or whoever was involved in the first half covers, but Michael Turner is gonna win this battle.
Probably that one. I mean. That was always the classic one.
Yeah, I honestly think that's probably my favorite one also.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. That's probably for me too.
I love that one.
Oh,
I like the one with Wonder Woman on it also.
Yeah, that one's good. I don't think some of the McGuinness ones were good, like the blood. I remember.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, a lot. I love that one.
Yeah, that one's awesome. I mean, probably the classic one is the one that's like the SDCC variant that came later.
Yeah, that one's good.
The variant one, yeah.
Or like
that, it was like a repurposing of his art with a different background, I think. But
the one where she's wrapped in the cape that you only see.
The one that Los has in a 9.8 or something, I think.
Of the Ed McGuinness ones, like. This one they show here, which is like a variant, but like,
that one was good.
That's a good
one.
All
right. Was that a second print variant, or was that
a cover to second printing of number 3?
Yeah,
Ed McGuinness.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it looks like we are unanimous on. I don't know what issue that was.
It was 12, I think.
12.
Number 12. Okay.
12. Okay. Yeah.
12 was the class. I just remember it being like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, just Michael Turner, Darkseid, and Kara
Supergirl. Yeah,
Girl. That's hard to resist right there, man. All right, so look, this is the 19th Batman story or Batman-related story that we've done. So I don't even write the ranking down anymore.
I have it written down somewhere.
Yeah, I know JP's got it somewhere, but I kind of put just without knowing all my numbers. This is somewhere in the middle of the pack for me from the 19 that we've read. Like, it's not going to be. I didn't dislike it. Therefore, it's not going to be towards the bottom of my list, right?
It's no Black Mirror.
And I didn't think it was mind blowing, and it wasn't. It wasn't like to Thunderhouse's point. It's more of a shut off your brain thing. And not on a Long Halloween level for like a Jeph Loeb thing. So it's kind of in that middle of the pack. So maybe somewhere in like the 10 to 12 out of the 20 that or so that we've done.
It was memorable. I will say that. I mean, I remember stuff that happened.
If I was isolating the second half, like the Michael Turner half, it might even be higher than that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I have to assess it as like all the 13 issues, same. What's up, Bub?
I just remember the first half of the run being so like just jam packed with like stuff that was so unnecessary. That's how I remember it.
That's what I am.
And then going back and you're like, yeah, the second half is just so much cleaner. It was just like
so these are just the ones
were like go here. The first one is just like you're back and forth, and it's like, what is it? Like this makes no sense.
And this is the order we did them in. This is not my
right.
We
gotta create a digital version of that graphic.
We do at some point.
So we can just and here
we're just holding it up every time.
Well, maybe if you take a screenshot of those backing boards and send them to me, I'll work on that. But
I would put it probably like. So I just moved it into tiers instead of rankings, and the tier 1 I have is like year 1 and Long Halloween, and nothing else I have is in my tier 1.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make tier 2, which is where like White Knight, Cult, Hush, Court of Owls kind of resides. I would probably put it like at the top of tier 4 / the bottom of tier 3, in the range of Under the Red Hood, Gotham Central, Death in the Family 1 kind of thing.
I kind of enjoyed it in the same way that I enjoyed Gotham Central, where like I knew I wasn't gonna get like some sort of crazy like historically significant run, like you know what I mean. But it was a solid run, Solid run.
Those are just episode orders, Scott.
Working on that spreadsheet, the TPS reports will go. Right with that.
So no, I have like my little written ranking kind of, but I gave up on trying to put them in individual order, and I just put them into tiers.
Scott was like, "Thank God that's the order and not the rank." Yes,
I would put it in a higher than like you said, middle of the pack, because there were things that there's sometimes I read storylines, I don't remember a single thing from it years later. I'm like, what happened in that run? But I mean, I remembered most of this, so I mean, it stuck all those years later.
We've also covered things that are more, oriented towards other characters in the Batman universe. Like we've done Mad Love, we've done Harleen, and this is more Batman than those books were. I would say,
definitely.
But this is probably the most Superman we've gotten out of any of the 20.
Well, yeah, we haven't done anything really with Superman, have we?
He was in Hush, and he was in.
Yeah, okay, but
he was in other stuff that we read, but
I mean, I guess he made appearances, but he wasn't a main character in any of the other stuff that we've done. So, I really enjoy it. Like it's like I said, it's going to be like kind of mid pack for me, but in terms of final ranking, but like probably a little below mid pack. But like I really enjoy it because I really enjoy the dynamic they take with this. I get so tired of they're enemies. They're not enemies.
Right. Right.
Like we talked about this at the beginning, but to me that's a big like it's not this like it's not the Dark Knight Returns where they're and even in that they fight, but then they're not enemies at the end because he knows, like Superman knows. And like this is I just enjoy it.
This was more natural than Batman TMNT, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. You know what I mean? And this was a lot more organic than that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we're pretty much on the same page with this book. I think it's fun. It's probably going to be difficult to find somebody defending this as like the all-time greatest.
No.
Whatever, but except for maybe Michael Turner interior artwork, like that's like that's a very narrow lane there.
So what would the positives be? I mean, artwork.
Artwork would be the top, I would say, and then just like
getting Lex back to his
friendship between Batman and Superman and their inner monologues and stuff. I think is up there also, and then some of the side character beats I think too are pretty cool.
I mean, I think there's a lot of fun character moments, like in conversations, but like the overall storytelling is just kind of random.
Yeah. Well, it's time to wrap things up, fellas.
Here, wait, Sharon's here, so let me find what would be her favorite image of the whole book for sure.
Right.
Here, wait, we got some Wonder Woman for you, Sharon, just for you. There you go.
Wonder Woman on two huge Wonder Womans in back-to-back pages. Yeah,
there you go. That's just for you, Sharon.
There it is. What do you guys got coming up? Anything you want to promote? Plug?
I got a show coming up.
We got.
I finally have a con.
Oh,
I haven't done a con in years. Yeah, 2 weeks. Hickory Comic Con, which is my home where I live now. So it's probably one of the bigger ones because I don't have to drive very far. Hickory, North Carolina. If anybody's in the area, come down. Be a lot of good dealers.
I'm going to a con on Sunday, but it's not a traditional Comic Con. It's like an art-only con with like only a handful of dealers at like a Holiday Inn. You know, it's one of those small hotel cons in Turkey. But yeah, I'm gonna roll over there and just check it out because
I'm just excited to get back into the.
Yeah, I just want to like experience an event again. Like, even if it's really small, Well, that sounds cool, man. You are on Instagram. And I don't think you have a YouTube channel with video.
I do have a YouTube channel. I just don't put content. I mean, I'm usually like all you guys have like good channels. Like I'd just be a guest. I don't need to make content.
Good.
Yeah, what I'm saying. Like you guys do the work. I'll be your guest.
I don't know how much work we really did for that.
We read a book.
Come on.
I think I did more work on that thumbnail than I did on anything else.
That thumbnail sweet, man. You did.
Yeah, I know. I'm proud of that thumbnail. It took me a solid 30 minutes.
I mean, I'm trying to redo my website. My buddy's working on it, so it'll eventually
for the store.
Yeah, for my store.
Nice.
I did get I am a CGC authorized dealer, so that was
nice.
Cool. Yeah. So I've got the shows coming up. My site's coming. That's pretty much it. And then sometimes I'll be a guest. Matt always wants me on Comigories if he needs a space. And I'm like, yeah.
You have to take down this guy at some point.
Well, Paige and I'm
going to be
couple Gories champions.
Geek Aficionado hasn't lost it either. The longest rating champ because there hasn't been an episode, but Jimmy's actually still the champ too. So
right.
We're still a couples gory champions.
There you go. Well, there you go. Longest reigning.
That's right.
You should just have a champ off at some point.
There you go.
What about you, JP? You always have a lot of stuff going on.
Tomorrow night for any show we're doing Monstrous 2 and 3. Next week we're doing Wicked and Divine next Thursday, I think. I think that's the night, and then I do my weekend stuff, the look back and the. Maybe I'll do Cash or Trash. We'll see. I don't know. If it's during a football game, I might not do it. And then I do Sunday nights. I'm on White Whale Comics playing D&D. So that's much for everything. So
cool. I have Original Art Hour a week from exactly right now. Next Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. So literally exactly 1 week from this moment. And my guest is going to be RB3 Comics. Out of Las Vegas, and so that should be cool because he's one of the guys that sort of first helped me get into the art scene and the original art side of the hobby. So it'll be fun hanging out with him and checking out some art together. And that's really all I have scheduled. I got probably a comic haul to do at some point. Get around to do that, and I know JP's working on some other shows that I'm involved with that are having scheduling problems. So.
Yeah, at some point we'll get them scheduled.
Yeah, but we'll figure that out. So thanks for joining us, Bona Fide.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome to host the show, co-host the show with you, JP. And thanks everybody for hanging out with us here in the chat. We'll let you get back to your Tuesday night. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Later. Where do I begin? I see the hate, they don't want to see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in a win. I don't want it all. Heard the scammer had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call it my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out.
through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, it's not a purse, it's a merce. 6 figures was a gold, now it's 9 or a hearse. Put it work. Used to pull up, not swerve. No time for the snakes, time to put them in the dirt. That's word. I gotta get it, it's in my DNA. You only see the highlights, don't know what it takes. Last year stressing, got no sleep. Now I'm right between the courts, out of nosebleeds. I see the hate, they don't